It's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing, it's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
We're staying on top of breaking news in Michigan, where multiple people were shot at a Mormon church. This is in Grand Blanc, just outside of Flint. The Grand Blanc Township Police Department says the shooter is down. There is no threat to the public at this time. Officers also say the church, which is about 50 miles north of Detroit, is on fire. We're staying on top of breaking news.
What we know right now is that a 40-year-old suspect from Burton, he's a male, he drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church. He then exited his vehicle, firing several rounds at individuals within the church. 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals at this time, including one who has been deceased. Officers who were trained immediately responded to the area. One was a DNR officer, and then one was a Grand Blanc Township officer, where they met the suspect and they engaged in gunfire with that particular individual, neutralizing that suspect, and that suspect is no longer with us. As I said, it is a 40-year-old male from Burton. During all this incident as well, there was a fire that occurred, and we believe that was deliberately set by the suspect. We do believe that we will find additional victims once we have that scene secure. That fire was just extinguished by the Grand Blanc Township Fire Department within the past hour. What we know.
Well, America, are y'all ready to have a conversation? How about we do it Charlie Kirk style? No, I won't go that far. But I will say, again, black people, we gonna sit this one out too. We gonna watch and observe, but we gonna sit this one out because we want to know. We really want to know what is the problem in this country with guns, mass shootings, mental health, and overstimulated white men with guns going to public areas and unleashing terror. And this is what you would call, this is terrorism, but it's called anyway, terrorism in your country. This is terrorism on our own people. And it seems to be a pattern. Now, when we talk about gun violence in black communities, are always, oh, Chicago this and this was that, but listen, let's talk nationwide. We have a problem, not just in the black community with guns. Civil terrorism, yeah, it's something like that. But we have an issue with guns. Now, are we going to say, don't take away my guns, you're going to have to rip my guns from my dead arms? Okay, whatever, guy. But the fact of the matter is, if your kid gets a hold of that gun and goes and shoots up a whole school, brother, we putting you in jail for life, okay? Okay? So, like I said, we have a serious gun issue, and any time that a Charlie Kirk or someone wants to bring up gun violence in the black community, we must also say, well, this terrorist from what he said, from Barton, Michigan, went to a Mormon church, unleashed hellfire bullets and all craziness on these unarmed citizens. Luckily, there were some civil officers there to subdue the terrorist. We're going to call him a terrorist because that's what he is. Let's not say, oh, he was a good man. He's a terrorist. Anyone who does stuff like this is a terrorist. Okay? On our own people. And like I said, there's a epidemic happening with white men who may have mental issues, who may be politically motivated, who may be racially motivated, whatever their stance is, something's going on where they are being manipulated by news media, by religion, by some radical far right winger to plan out these attacks. And I think that's the biggest problem in this country. And if y'all don't want to say it, and if Charlie Kirk didn't want to say it, well, damn it, I'm going to say it. Because y'all, like all the white men in this chat, y'all need to get y'all's acts together and talk to your neighbor. Talk to your friend. Talk to your sons. Talk to your cousins. Because these are innocent lives being taken daily. Now, I'm not saying Charlie Kirk was a bad person, but he was still an innocent person, and he was taken out by a white man who had a radical view, and he had access to guns. Same thing with it's more. We not gonna stop it. I'm a foe. Cause y'all don't listen. 4 mass shootings, 4 mass shootings today, or four of them. Okay. I just want to let y'all know this is not acceptable. And if y'all don't get a hold of y'all people, like we could talk as Americans, but when Charlie Kirk said it, when Charlie Kirk said all that about black people, y'all was like, but he's right. But he's right. Look, I don't want to be a radical. All I want to do is say, hey, this ain't our fight. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't go state to state talking to black people about white people issues. That's not my thing. I do care for, like, I don't want my daughter to have to go to school worrying about if she's going to get shot. Like, if I have to buy my daughter a bulletproof backpack, I would feel some type of way. That they have steel doors that they now slam on. They have like these locks on doors that they shut, so when people come into the school armed, that, like, does that make me feel safe about my kid? Because it's not like they're going to always catch these kids in the classroom. These kids that go to these schools, they know the schools, so they're going to wait till everybody's out roaming free. So, man, listen. Y'all better talk to y'all's kids. Lock your guns up. Everybody think it's about gun rights and gun laws. Protect the Second Amendment. Some people gotta die just to protect. No. People don't have to die. People don't have to die. You know what I'm saying? People don't have to die. But whatever. I just want y'all to see what's happening. This happens so much that Americans, we are numb to this at this point. Are y'all numb to the mass shootings? Do y'all feel like it's just one after another and it's like, like, remember there was like one time there was like a record number of mass shootings and it was like 10. That we look at the number of mass shootings now and be like, what? 300? Bro, that's like one a day. That's almost one a day. It's probably more now. Like, this is crazy. But, you know, y'all don't want to. There's always, it's really conservatives. Y'all don't want to, you can't take my gun away from me over my dead body. Yeah, okay. The point is, there has to be a solution to this. And if it means taking guns away from people, it might be a good idea. Maybe re-registering every gun, you know, because there are a lot of guns out there unregistered. And after that, you know, there's mental health evaluations maybe. You may have to, you know, just like in Oklahoma, if you have a medical marijuana card, you cannot conceal and carry. You know, that type of stuff. That really don't make sense, because if you got a gun and you hide, you're probably not gonna. You're gonna be like, huh? You know, you'll never use it. You're just too stoned to use it. But there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. But we ain't finished yet.
This man who attacked the Mormon church in Michigan was found with American flag poles in the back of his car. He rammed through a wall, started attacking people. He set the place on fire. A horrific scenario. Multiple people have died. And I hate that Trump does this to America. But we need to see the American flag poles, because Trump right now wants to use every single attack as a cause of left-wing terrorism to do a full authoritarian crackdown on liberals. This man had a license plate that infers he was a military vet. In North Carolina, there was a shooting as well from a boat when people were enjoying their time listening to live music on a pier. That was a military vet as well. This man in North Carolina once sued America for trying to kill him. He cited the LGBTQT Epstein global ring that was forcing him to be attacked or something. Really sad story of PTSD, to be honest. But this entire time, now Trump can say, let's take our time. Now Trump can say, we need to wait for details to come in, because their identities cannot be weaponized, because this is probably from the right wing. He is saying, let's take our time. Before we even knew who killed Charlie Kirk, Trump said radical leftists did this. And then they said all liberals were responsible. I would never say that about all Republicans after these attacks we saw in the last 24 hours. But all Americans need to have that standard, because I don't want to come on here and say, he was on your team, he was on my team, he was on your team. Tribalism will get us nowhere. But MAGA sees no other way out. We need to get everyone who's pro coming together, who's pro peace in America, who's pro democracy. We need to reject the MAGA calls for more violent political rhetoric. This is really bad. It's terrible. The victims are suffering right now. We need to give them all the support we
Yeah, so let's show them the American flag. The America, baby. Boy, y'all be America, baby, us to death, boy, with that, boy. You know, when you driving down the highway in some some back highway 9 in rural Oklahoma, and you see somebody with their F-250 dually single cab, maybe a double cab, and they got about 18 flags flying on the back of their pickup truck, you know what I mean? And they got that big American Eagle spread on the back of their windshield. You know what I'm saying? They got Trump 2024 on that mug somewhere, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all seen it. I know it's this guy that drives a truck, and I see him all the time. and he drives a truck, and he drives an 18-wheeler. And on the back of his, because he owns the truck, he can fly whatever he wants to on that truck. It's not a corporate owned vehicle or a corporate owned trailer. It's his own truck and trailer. He picks up and he hauls stuff in his, and he has a big old Trump flag, a big old American flag, and he flies it proudly. And I just be like, and see, that's what it reminds. I don't have no beef with it. It's just a flag, you know. He get up and put his pants on just like I do. The only thing that gets me about this flag is that there are people that fly it for a representation of America and and its president, and some of those people, they don't like my people, and so it's kind of hard to stand by people like that. So y'all need to recognize who y'all standing next to. Okay, if you just love America, baby, we are one, right? But you know, this is domestic terrorism. That's what it's called. Domestic terrorism. I was like, man, I know that damn word. This is a domestic terrorist. And the fact that he is on American soil flying American flags and assassinating Americans, setting a building on fire on American soil, smoking people out and murdering them, is like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. But that's how. Shit. I'm proud to fly my flag. I'm proud to wear my shirts that have flags on them. But you know, we're not supposed to wear shirts that are like made of like flags. Like, we're not supposed to wear shoes and stuff. But if you have an actual flag, like patch or something, that's what you're supposed to wear. But you're not supposed to actually wear like a flag type attire shirt. It's actually illegal, but nobody really cares because it's America, baby. But whatever the case may be, as an American, I am sick of this. I'm sick of this, and there's something. And listen, we can sit up here and talk about it all till we blue in the face. Oh, we need to get rid of the guns. Y'all not gonna get rid of the guns at all. But white men, I think y'all should talk to y'all fellow brethrens, because domestic terrorism will not be tolerated. And I'm glad he got executed, because I'm sick of these terrorists being taken in peacefully and then taking the Burger King because they hungry on the way to the prison or to the jail. It's insane. You treat who you want to treat inhumane and humane, but take his ass out. I'm glad, because he did enough damage that you got to take him out. I remember in Oklahoma, y'all can look this up. This is why guns is necessary. I'm advocating for guns in this instant, but in all actuality, it's still another white man. There's a lake called Hefner Lake in Oklahoma City, and there are restaurants along the lake. There's a restaurant / bar called Louis, and Louis has they play the football, basketball games, whatever's on, baseball. It's a bar, it's a restaurant. You can get like chicken fingers and mozzarella sticks and all, fattening American food, and beer. Who loves that, And this white man decides to go up to the bar and open fire on the patrons. So he hit a young black girl. I think she was about 12 years old. I think he hit her in the spine and she may be paralyzed. Don't quote me on that. But I know she got hit in the back. And one other person. But there was a patron who was getting out of his vehicle, witnessed the guy with the gun walking up to it. He was like, oh, this white man mean business. So he strapped up. Soon as that guy started shooting, he took him out. So, am I saying guns are bad? Yes. But do guns kill people? No. Stupid people with guns kill people. And white men with guns go into public areas and kill people often, and it's becoming more and more frequent. Like with absolutely no beef with nobody. Now, if we want to talk about it, black gang violence and shootings happen all the time. Mexicans, Asians, all that. Everybody's shooting everybody because it's America, baby. We got guns. Everybody got guns. But a lot of times there's some stupid beef going on. There's some. It's like it's not a planned killing, but it's like, hey, there's domestic violence. There's gang violence where one gang hates another gang because they live on this block and we live on that block, and we always hate that block because you killed Pookie back in 1990 and we've been fighting ever since. That dumb shit. Listen, I know it's dumb, whatever, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat what happens in black communities. But what I'm saying is that's kind of isolated incidents. We know why this is happening. We don't know why this is happening. We don't know how to stop this. But what we can say is the politically motivated rhetoric that is constantly being pushed. All the leftist this, the leftist that, the radical right and all this shit, all that bullshit is causing all this. It's causing all this. And you know who is putting out these things? You know who's going out and executing these domestic terrorist acts? All right. So y'all know I'm done with my rant. We're going to the next one.
We're just listening to Chief William Rennie of the Grand Blanc Police Department, who just gave an update from the shooting that took place at the church, the LDS Church in Grand Blanc, Michigan. Here's what we know so far. We were told that this began around 10:25 a.m., where the Church of Jesus Christ at Latter-day Saints. The service was active. We were told there were hundreds of people in the church at the time of this shooting. Now, we heard Chief Rennie say that 40-year-old male suspect from Burton drove his vehicle through the front doors of the church, exited the vehicle, and fired several rounds at people. The chief said that 10 gunshot victims have been transported to local hospitals. One individual has died so far. We're being told 2 officers responded to this shooting. They met the suspect, engaged in gunfire, and eventually killing the suspect. Now, during the incident, police believe the fire was deliberately set by the suspect. They also say they believe they'll find additional victims once the scene is secure and they begin investigating. We do know that that fire has since been extinguished about an hour ago. And we do know that right now police have search warrants on the suspect's residence. They're looking for a motive. They said that they will go through his cell phone records. And we do know right now that the FBI is responding. And the chief has said that about 100 agents, FBI agents, have been sent to his community because of the witnesses in and around the church. They said that there are so many witnesses. Obviously, some of the parishioners who are going to the church and people around the church, they said there will be so many interviews and the manpower will be needed, which is why we're seeing that influx of FBI agents right now. I want to bring in ABC News reporter Olivia Rubin here right now, along with ABC News contributor and former FBI agent Brad Garrett for more. Olivia, what can you tell us right now in terms of the scale of this shooting and exactly what we know so far?
Well, you just laid a lot of it out right there, right? So they're talking about hundreds of people were inside of a church when this 40-year-old male suspect, as they laid it out, rammed the front doors of the church, went inside, started shooting before, as officials said, he was neutralized by law enforcement. But like, really what's so difficult here for law enforcement is that fire that they believe was deliberately set, that sort of pushed them back, and what they were able to do a bit, as you've heard, they just got that fire out about within the hour, is how they put it. Sources have also told ABC News that there was a partial collapse of the church building. So you can.
Why don't they label him a domestic terrorist? Do they not want? They keep saying he's a 40-year-old male. Just call him a domestic. Call him what he is. He's a domestic terrorist. He's a cancer to our society as Americans. A domestic terrorist. See, because had he been Muslim or Mexican or I wouldn't say too much if he was black. If he was black, there would be some. There would be. If he was black, you would see right-wing Twitter go crazy. If he was Mexican, oh, right-wing. If he was LGBTQ, oh, that right-wing Twitter be jumping. But it's crickets today. It's real live crickets today. Call him what he is. He's a terrorist, a domestic terrorist. He wasn't African American. He was white. We all know he was white. I mean, there's actual pictures of the man. He's white. But just call him a domestic terrorist. This is what he did, was commit a heinous crime on a large gathering of people in the efforts to commit multiple murders. He's a terrorist. So let's just call it what it is.
Imagine you're already dealing with an active scene, an active gunfire scene with hundreds of individuals on site, and then you add in a fire with a partial collapse. That complicates it even more than it already was. That's also why officials are saying right now, tragically, that they do believe that they will be finding more victims here. They didn't say whether they would be alive, hopefully, or deceased, but they did say because of the way that that fire was set, that there were some people, unfortunately, trapped, unable to get outside of the building. Those were the words of the law enforcement official you just heard right there. So a very complex, very dynamic, as you said, hundreds of family, law enforcement, all on scene here, 100 FBI agents responding to what was just described as a very complex, dynamic, active scene right now. The chief there saying that this was still preliminary information and that they would be getting more as it goes on.
And we heard the chief say that this shooting began at 10:25 a.m. That's when church starts. This is a massive church. He said hundreds of people were inside right now, obviously taking part in the service. When the shots rang out, obviously when the officer said the suspect allegedly ran his vehicle into the front doors.
Can't believe I'm talking about 4 different shootings in one video. There was the North Carolina shooting, the boat shooting, where homie got on a boat and from his boat shot at people who were at this waterfront bar. You cannot make this up. Shooting number 2, Bourbon Street in New Orleans. There was a shooting that left 1 man dead and 3 people injured last night. There was the shooting at the church this morning that just happened where the church is on fire. Homie drives his car into the side of the building of the church. Church catches fire and then he starts to shoot people. 2 people dead in that occurrence and he killed himself. 9 people injured. And then there was a shooting at a casino where 2 people died and I believe 4 people were injured. This all happened in the last 24 hours. Yes. What is going on in America, bro? What is going on?
So, in Grand Blanc, Michigan, I think it's Blanc, but maybe Blank. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, 11 casualties. Rosita, Texas, 7 casualties. New Orleans, Louisiana, 4 casualties. That was on Bourbon Street. Southport, North Carolina, 11 casualties. Raleigh, North Carolina, 4 casualties. That was just in the Rapides Parish in Louisiana, 4 casualties. Like, this is all within the 27th and 28th. Good Lord. I mean, that's a lot. Okay? That's 6 mass shootings. Remember I said earlier, back in the day, it was like, I remember Columbine happening. Y'all remember Columbine happening? Like, oh my God, that's horrible. What the fuck? Why would somebody do such a thing? That's crazy, right? Mass shootings was just like, Now I remember mass shootings went from like 10 a year. Now we at 300. And when you have 6 in one day, boy, America, boy, y'all reaching, ain't y'all? America is reaching.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.